Hey, welcome back to 2DG. We've got another beer review.
We do. This is part of our local spotlight series, which I just made up. But it is featuring a local brewery to us. So Mad Anthony's Brewing Company, based out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. They're small, distribute mostly in our area, the Northeast Indiana area, but they have won some gold medals at various festivals, including the biggest one in our country, the Great American Beer Festival, including this one. So this is the Ruby Raspberry Wheat, won 2012 gold medal, GABF. Now this is kind of cool. So they never really bottled or canned this one, but if you actually look at the raspberries there, they're actually jewels.
Yes, they are.
Rubies,
I noticed that.
But anyway, so
I wonder
this
who their
one,
marketing firm was. That's a good idea.
yeah, this one always kind of scared me because number one, the color, which you'll see here in a second, but number two, it was so raspberry forward, in my opinion, that I always thought it was a
Ruin it for me.
shut up, a kind of flavored raspberry. But according to the description, it says our crown jewel, a delicious wheat ale brewed with an abundance of Oregon raspberries for an intense yet harmonious union of fruit and beer, which I thought was cool. So at least they say that they source the raspberries, so yeah. I'm okay with that.
Cool, man.
Cool. 4.7% ABV, and it is only 8 IBUs, so super, super light as far as bitterness. But let's get it.
And strangely, for us, alcohol. Craft, isn't that funny? That 4 to 5% is considered pretty standard for all the macro drinkers. Yeah.
For now, for us, it's sessionable.
Yeah.
You can just drink them all day, basically. But it actually tastes good. Yeah. All right. So the other beer that we've done that was similar in like a deep color was the Chelada from old AB InBev. That one was super red and whatnot.
Oh, you're saying in color specifically. I was going, oh
exactly
my God.
I
know,
said,
I was just processing. I was scared.
But yeah, this one, nice ruby color. Alright.
Wow.
Yeah, so I will say real quick, Matt Anthony's has really put in a lot of effort over the last couple of years.
Yes.
As far as rebranding, getting new logos, that kind of thing.
Yeah, they've really invested in themselves.
Yeah.
Their recipes, their branding, logos, like you said.
Which it was pushed by the opening of like 3 or 4 local breweries that really didn't amount to anything as far as competition for them. So
true.
Nice ruby red, kind of grapefruit juice color. You got semi-yellow orange notes mixed in down towards the bottom, but other than that, pretty uniform as far as the color. This was another reason why it scared me too. Is please God, don't let them be using food coloring or something. But this is
there's not a lot of stiction either, but there is. You know what I mean? It's a thin beer, but it kind of hangs out up there.
For 4.7, you wouldn't expect that kind of.
Well, all that residual sugar, I'm sure.
All right, let's get a smell.
All right. Okay. This is one of those smells that you associate in your youth, and it haunts you. Okay, number one, it's definitely real raspberry, not fake raspberry. But it's there's a smell that I remember from hair salons when I was a kid. Oh. I'm serious. I know maybe it's like perm stuff. You know, I grew up I was a youngster in the 80s, a teenager in the 80s.
And you got lots of perms.
Yeah. Perms were big. I never got one. I didn't do the whole perm in the back thing.
For me, this is if, you take like a handful of raspberries, you crush them up in your hand, really get them juicy, almost like jam consistency, and you smell it. That in there. So real raspberry jam. That's kind of what that smells like.
It actually, yeah, it's raspberry. That's the beauty.
There's like maybe the faintest smell of wheat, but to be honest, it's pretty one-dimensional as far as the nose. But
he's actually right.
It's delicious.
That is a good descriptor. The faintest whiff of wheat. You're right. I think that's what gives it the darker, deeper, earthier flavor or smell.
All right. Speaking of flavor, let's jump on in there.
I probably should have done something to cleanse my palate more after the last one.
Yeah. Here's my only beef with it. It's way too carbonated. Like, if you cut down the carbonation by like half, the raspberry would carry better, the wheat would carry better.
The sweetness would stick around a little
Yeah.
bit.
So basically, front nice pop of that carbonation, and it runs all the way through, almost like the consistency of like a Sprite soda type of thing would be. The wheat flavor in itself carries all the way through front to back.
Yeah, it does.
Which is nice, even when it drops off. That's still there. But the raspberry, it's a sweet puree flavor, but at the same time, it's well balanced, if that makes any sense. So it's not like crazy jelly sweetness. It's a nice starting out mellow. It gets sweet and then it goes away, and then you end with that kind of faint raspberry flavor, but just in like the esters of it, and then the wheat. So to me, it's well balanced, and the only thing that really gives it a negative score for me is it's just way too carbonated.
I can't disagree. I think you nailed every aspect right there. I think it's right on the money.
So pulled it up on the old Rate Beer AB InBev site, and its style is a fruit beer, which I don't necessarily agree with, only because I believe they use the standard 51% wheat to classify as a wheat beer. But whatever. So style-wise, they give it a 56 for fruit beer, and then overall, they give it a 37. Now, I will say on
No
here, yeah, it does give the hops and the malt. So hops they use for 8 IBUs, albeit Cascade, which I don't get any of that.
No.
And then malt, they use English Pale Ale malt and malted wheat. So I'm guessing to call it a fruit beer, they probably do 50-50, but I would say it's more towards the wheat because I'm not getting much of the regular malted barley thing in there. But anyway, shit scores in my opinion.
I would agree.
But we'll call it a fruit beer. That's fine. What are you going to rate it?
Wow. So, okay, so we're going to stick with fruit beer.
Which, to be honest, most of the fruit beers we've done have been from Dogfish Head. There have been some random ones mixed in. You can go check those out in our previous videos. But it's few and far between.
Most of our vegetative have been Dogfish Head. Fruit beer. Hey, I kind of struggled bouncing it back and forth with this. Do I go 7.5? No, I'm gonna go an 8. I think it's finely crafted. It's a fruit beer. Fine, put it in that category. It nails it. I think it's got everything going for it. The only detractor is, like you said, the carbonation's a bit excessive. I think if they back that off a little bit, the flavors would explode more. This is one where too much is not a good thing. But overall, I think it's an excellent beer.
I'll do 8.5. There's a couple of things I want to say. Number one, this is easily the highest rated Mad Anthony's beer that we've had. Before that, I believe it was like a 7.5 maybe. Number two, I think most of what kind of puts people off as far as the rating is the color, which I can agree with to an extent. It is kind of a weird color for a beer. To my knowledge, this is the first time they've packaged this and gotten it out, other than obviously the brew pubs, and they have like 3 or 4 in the region, if you want to call it a region.
We've got to do some of their competitor.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead. Anyway.
But yeah, 8.5. Easily the best beer from Mad Anthony's that I've had as far as like rating wise. They've had good IPAs and things like that, but when you stack it up, it's not as close, I guess, as this one is to other kind of highly rated beers. Overall,
if I'm in the mood, I'll do an 8.5 on this. If I'm in the mood for this, chances are I'll choose it. I really dig it, but it is light. It's lightweight, so it's a good refreshing beer. It's dry enough that it keeps you thirsty, and that part of that's the raspberry itself. Keeps you thirsty, but I would definitely drink this again. I will drink this again.
It's 4.7, super sessionable, great summer beer in my opinion, which kudos to them for releasing it at the right time. I know they usually do their, what's that wheat beer?
What, raspberry wheat?
No, is it the Dazed and Confused or something like that?
Yeah.
Whatever, it's
I
from
didn't think they
them,
did.
we'll find it. But that's their summer beer generally, and it's not bad, it's just...
What,
it's
summer days?
Summer Days. God. Damn damn, I messed that up.
That's why they're a good couple, right?
Yep.
They
Summer.
just worked it off.
Yeah, summer days. It's not bad. It's pretty plain Jane though. It doesn't have anything like super fruity or anything like that. It's just a plain wheat beer. So this one though, and I hope they continue to do this in the summer, and I'd appreciate if it was year round, but I doubt it.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it's subject to availability of
Right.
raspberries.
So this is a perfect summer beer. Super thirst quenching, light, crisp. Now I will say that it's also probably a good transition beer. So if you have somebody that drinks, the shit Big Three
Or
Red's Apple Ale,
or they're a wine person.
yeah, even wine people I feel like have better
Not
taste
all of 'em.
depending.
Not all of them.
Yeah. But that being said, I'll go ahead and, like I said, rate this an 8. It's good. I'll drop it down a little bit just because I'm not a huge fruit beer fan, but I could definitely see myself drinking these.
I like fruit beer.
Straight to the point. Like I said, the only thing that would be off-putting to people that drink a lot of beer would be the color, I think. Now, if you get somebody that hasn't really ever drank a good beer before, I mean, they're not going to give a shit, probably, but...
There's no date.
Oh, wow, that's not at the bottom. That's weird.
Maybe it rubbed off.
Well, I will say the 4-pack that we got, it is in 4-packs, only drawback. Like, you pick it up by the the black plastic on top, and it literally popped out. So it was terrible as far as being secure. But yeah, that is kind of weird. There's no date on it.
But you know what? That's okay. I don't think it's really going to change a whole lot over some length of time. If it's still on the shelves in a year, don't go to that liquor store anymore. But fine beer.
Anyway, like, comment, subscribe us if you've had this, if you want to try it or whatever. Maybe we can work something out. But
yeah, I mean, this ain't no planning
hit
trader,
the
but
bell,
if you want to.
whatever that is that he talks about. Yeah. 2DG.
I gotta pee. I'll go one step further. I know you're in the middle. I'll go one step further and say that Mad Anthony's is a really regional beer, local beer. I wouldn't even go regional.
No,
they're
that's
really
local. Yeah.
They're really local, and I'm gonna tell you right now that most of the people in this locale haven't the foggiest idea what a good fruit beer should be, what it is. This is probably as foreign to them as anything in the universe.
Well, funny story. Real quick, I get to my third point is they've had a couple of gold medal winners. They've had their Auburn Lager. I believe the Gabby Blonde that's been switched to the Old Fort Lager has won.
Why would you do that?
Because it's a lot better name, makes sense. And then this one. So we haven't reviewed any of these other two. I've had the Auburn and I've definitely had the Old Fort. The Old Fort's actually not bad for what it is.
I haven't had Old Fort.
Yeah. But to be honest, this one's easily the most deserving, in my opinion, of
I would agree.
having won the award. But I'm just a humble person. Funny story was myself and the
Significant.
significant, some of you
Other.
have met her.
Fiancé.
Yep. We were at the brewery / brew pub, and it wasn't the day that we bought this, but it was a time before that. And this guy was at the bar. He was about 4 or 5 seats to my right, and there was some, well, we'll call her a lady, that's fine, that was beside him, and she was high as shit. I don't know what she was on, but she was high. You could definitely tell. She ordered a Corona. They said no.
Did they really?
They said we don't have that. The only,
Good for them.
basically the only trash beer that we have is like
Beer.
Heineken.
Oh, really? Wow.
Heineken's not. I mean, it's a shit beer, but it's better than
We need to do that.
we will.
Go ahead.
But anyway, he was on there, and he was on his Untappd profile, and he was like, "Yeah, I do this stuff all the time," and he just kept listing stuff that was just so damn wrong. Like, it was just awful. And we were sitting there, and then I don't know if she was a manager or like an owner. I assume she was a manager, but she was over there like laughing because we were just trashing this dude, and it was necessary. I don't do it just to be a dick, but I got severely wrong on a lot of things, and it just bothered me.
Did you give him a card? The
No.
manager or him?
Nah, they probably hate it. Well, to be honest, we haven't had too many super positive things to say about Mad Anthony's.
We have, actually. Go ahead.
Anywho,
We've told them, keep up what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's working. You're
So-
getting there.
Like I said,